All right, I'm going to do a lot of spieling right now. I'm just starting, and I don't know how to put these things into words, but I do. I'm just letting it go the way it comes out. And when I try to record myself, it makes it more difficult because I talk about trying to record myself. So shut up about talking about trying to record yourself. Odd even. Everyone thinks we have even numbers and odd numbers. Like 0 would be even, and 1 would be odd, and 2 would be even, and 3 would be odd, and 4 would be even, and so on and so on and so on. But if you really look at a 4 isn't all that even because it's got a little stick figure that it's standing on with this odd shape on top, and there's no way it's going to stay in the ground unless it had an even thing and it was split. Like in this, you were standing in front of the 4 and looking at it from the front of it, from the back of the 3 side. Then the 4 could be even. Otherwise, it would fall right over like an odd thing that it is because it's not shaped evenly in a two-dimensional piece of paper. But anyway, so when we say odd even, that would mean 0 is even, 1 is odd. 2 is even, 3 is odd, 4 is even, 5 is odd, and so on. We actually don't have numbers at all. We call numbers things so we can address them things and make them different, give them shapes. Everything is actually odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. Never changes. So therefore, odd starts off with 0 because 0 is a fucking O. If you don't see what I'm saying, fine. And then even is a 1. And then a 2 is motion from here, here, and here, but here, touching here, going. There's a movement that's ongoing. When you do a digital, think of a digital 2. 1, 1, 2, 3. There are 3 points on a digital 2, but on a physical 2, there's a loop, which is 1, 2, 3. See what I'm saying? There are 3 digits in a 2. It's 2 slashes and a circle, which is that 0. And then a 3 has whoop, whoop, which looks like 2 swoops, but it's 2 swoops and 2 zeros, just not finished. So there's always open spots. That's the Akash, okay? 0 is the Akash in number form. Numbers are just ridiculous. Alphabets, I would say the paper, the place that you put the paper, the chalk that the blackboard goes on, the blackboard has to be made in space. I don't want to get out of that and get too weird on the other dimensional properties because no one's ever talked about it like this. So people can't talk about, yeah, you write the words on paper. The paper came from a tree that's still in this dimension. There's a dimension where the paper in the tree can stand, can sit. Whether it's plugged into the ground or it's pulled out and shaved off and mixed with water and made into a notebook. Like, that's the same dimension. There's a dimension where all of us can be right here on like a screen, a backdrop, where the theater can project out forever until it has a screen drop down where it can be received. We're that receiving station. Our body is. Our body is the receiving station. And I'm catching a shine of the light, and you're catching a shine of the light. It's the same light. So I can't make you see the light the way I see the light. I can only help you clean your mind and body so that you can feel the light the way I felt the light. And I interpret the light the way I can. I hope that makes sense. I know it does. If you open your heart and listen to these things. The problem is with half these recordings is that I get emotional because I try to tell somebody about them and they don't get it. And I'm like, I'm telling people this stuff and they don't get it. And I'm not being my personal self. And I should just be my personal self. Like, I'm here as this person because he had the ability to find me and I together. Whatever. If it sounds silly. Like, E equals MC squared is just 333. 3's always been his number. 333, if you spin it around, is just 888. 333 and 888 are these magic frequencies in the music world. Like, we call it octave in music. We have A, B, C's and 1, 2, 3's, and we say know your A, B, C's and X, Y, Z's. These are also symbols. We don't say things that don't mean something. Why do you say that? I don't know. Because it sounds cool. No. It's either there for us to address it as a problem or address it as something that we're supposed to notice. And it doesn't mean that it's a problem because you notice it, like A, B, C, and X, Y, Z isn't a problem. But it caused me to notice something we left for ourselves. Every one of us has these Easter eggs, as we call them, in modern terms, in our life. Like, before it would be hints. There also be clues. Or it would be little divine interventions, we'd say, back in like the 1800s. And that was still terminology we used in 1900s and 2000s, but very little. But we have a lot of divine intervention. Everything is divine intervention. Everything. Looking at the fence is divine intervention. Because your opinion of it, be like, I don't see the point of people putting fences to keep their animals in. But that would make you expand your mind to be like, was I once an animal? And when you actually open up to the truth of your beingness of what life inside a body is, you will experience a horse. You will be a horse. Maybe not while you're driving around, but when you open up to that timelessness, you'll feel it along with everything else, and the entire memory of it will download into your mind. It's crazy. And I wish that I could share the light I have with other people like that. Like, I had to have been through it all in time in order to have it download into my timeless body. And that's the only way that makes sense. You can't have an experience that wasn't yours knowingly to describe and explain completely to people if it wasn't you. And it makes you scary to the people that know you. Be like, you know how much I've been through? Like, this wasn't some energy didn't just, like, say, okay, here you go. I'll let you explain it. It just said, you know who you are. Just start remembering. And, like, as time goes on, these things from my life that are the most silly stuff, that's why it makes me look like a goober. Talking about the girl I knew in second grade, or Hulk Hogan's back. Like, these things were things that I remember at, like, the age of supposedly 40, 41. And they're things that happened when I was a little kid. 4, 5, 6, you know, like, why? Why? And the new people I meet, their names backwards mean something biblical. Or everyone I know is biblical. Oh, you're just looking for meeting those people. No, those are the people that meant something in my life. I don't have any meaningful Fitzgeralds or whatever. I used to use those names and make fun of things like that just to include them. Because I've been an all-around guy who does everything. And that's what opened me up. Anyway, I can record forever. I'm losing my voice. I need to drink. Peace.